Coming up on Naperville News 17. More senior housing is on its way to Naperville. An endurance test to find who's fit to fight fires. And a night of chills and thrills at our station's own game show, Game On. Hello everyone, I'm Kim Pierce. Thanks for joining us for this week's Naperville News. A new look is coming to the Martin Avenue Apartments. Naperville News 17's Christine Lena has the details.
A bistro, courtyard, multi-purpose rooms, and a 5-story addition. All are coming soon to the Martin Avenue Apartments. Naperville Elderly Homes unveiled its plans for a $29 million project to rehab the existing complex and add new units.
Our goal is to offer very affordable housing to extremely low-income people, but preserve their dignity by providing all the amenities they'd have someplace else.
Their plans over 2 years in the making, back when NEH realized the increased need for affordable senior housing in Naperville wasn't being met.
We have over a 2-year waiting list and have as long as I've been on the board. So we did some studies, we talked to the city and the county, and they said they would love to have additional units.
That support, along with $14 million of low-income housing tax credits from the Illinois Housing Development Authority, allowed NEH to make the renovation happen. They partnered with architecture firm Warren Jerebick Wiltsey to design the addition with 70 new one-bedroom units and rehab all existing units, common areas, and outdoor space.
Well, I've been here for 6 years, and I was hoping that something could more be done in the apartments. So I was very happy when they announced that they were going to be doing all the renovations.
The project won't increase rent for residents, and construction should begin in March of 2019.
The other big part of this project, I think, is just making the building reflect the community that's here already. And I think the building, while taken care of very, very well, is aging, and it's showing its age. It was built in the 70s, and while it worked very well at that time, it doesn't reflect the needs of today's seniors very well. So I think this renovation project, in addition, is going to position them to serve the seniors here for the next 40 and 50 years.
Estimated completion for the project is spring-summer of 2020. Reporting for Naperville News 17, I'm Christine Lena.
The Naperville Area Chamber of Commerce is looking ahead to see what the economy has to bring. We're currently in the second longest economic expansion in United States history. And whether or not we needed to worry about an incoming recession was the topic of the Naperville Area Chamber of Commerce's Regional Economic Forecast this year. The good news, guest panelist John Calamos, founder of Calamos Investments, Carolyn Harris, Vice President of Tax Policy for the United States Chamber of Commerce, and Gus Foucher, Chief Economist for PNC Financial Services, think the economy is strong and we don't have to worry just yet.
I don't see those imbalances out there in the economy right now. I think the economy is growing at a sustainable pace. I think we have solid economic growth. I think the fundamentals are good, and I think this will become the longest expansion in U.S. economic history when I'm here next year.
They expect inflation to stay around 2% for the next few years, and for unemployment rates to stay low. September actually marked the lowest unemployment rate since 1969. That means there are more jobs open, giving workers more options and incentivizing businesses to offer more pay.
We now have about 2.5% of workers quitting their jobs every month. Why do workers quit their jobs? Because it's easy for them to get jobs elsewhere. That is indicative of the tight labor market that we have. How are businesses responding to that? They're responding to that by raising pay.
The panel concluded with a Q&A about the economy and investing. After the break, dining for a cause at Maison Abeka.
Medici Neapolitan Pizza has created the magic of an Italian piazza right in downtown Naperville. Choose from the freshest ingredients available, and all their sauces are prepared on site. Enjoy salads with dressings made from scratch, to shareable plates that celebrate the flavors of Italy, to the pizza of your dreams. From the olive tree in the center of the restaurant to the imported Italian wood-fired oven, if you want a more authentic Italian experience, you need a passport.
District 204 is planning to buy a new home for their operations and maintenance department. Naperville News 17's Blaine Erwin has more.
The District 204 School Board voted to approve the purchase of a building at 1250 Shore Road in Naperville. The 14,800 square foot industrial building will be used as the new home of the Operations and Maintenance Department, which has been using Wheatland School since 2007.
The space is actually more usable for our needs. The warehouse is larger and has appropriate work areas for our maintenance staff to repair equipment. At Wheatland, we're doing this in carpeted areas in which our classrooms or hallways. Imagine working on equipment in your own living room where you don't have the proper power or electric.
Moving operations and maintenance will free up space in Wheatland School for educational use, and the $1.8 million purchase will save money for the district within just a few years.
Another property that we looked at was a property located on Frontenac. The annual lease price for that property was $357,055, and within 5 years we would have exceeded the purchase price of what we're coming to you with tonight. So in the long run, it makes sense for the school district to look at purchasing a property versus leasing a property.
The funds for the building and the 4.5-acre parcel it sits on came from the sale of 2 plots of land, which brought almost $9 million in total. 204 expects it could take ownership of the property by February 2019. Also at the meeting, the board got some more information about a grant 204 received from Digital Promise, funded by the National Science Foundation. The $300,000 computational thinking grant is meant to help kids develop skills necessary to solve complex, open-ended problems, often found in modern computer-related fields like web design and coding.
We're trying to prepare our students to be ready for a computational world. As they enter or encounter that big data, they may not know the specific code to write, but hopefully they're going to be able to know the questions they ask and ultimately empower them to make them decisions based on that.
Another focus of the grant is equity. District 204 is trying to improve achievement among low-income students. Reporting for Naperville News 17, I'm Blaine Erwin.
District 204 was one of only 3 school districts nationwide to receive the grant. And the vacancy on the District 204 School Board has been filled. At their latest meeting, the board voted to approve the appointment of Natasha Grover, who was sworn in and took a seat at the dais for the first time. Grover is an attorney advisor for the Social Security Administration and a longtime 204 volunteer. She fills the vacancy left when Lori Price resigned in September when she felt she no longer had the time to dedicate to the position. 32 people applied to fill the vacancy, and 6 were called back for final interviews. Mason Abeka is giving back to those in need. On October 23rd, the Tapas restaurant donated 100% of its sales to the Red Cross for aid relief efforts for disasters like Hurricanes Florence and Michael and the earthquakes in Indonesia. Hussein Jamali, owner of Mason Abeka, says he holds events like these out of a sense of empathy for those affected.
I put myself or my family in their shoes and picture what if it was us? What if this was Naperville?
The Rotary Club of Naperville agreed to match the first $10,000 raised by Mason Abeka, leading to a total donation of $26,430.
Others do understand the pain of those affected as well, and that is why they come in to support.
Mason Abeka will be giving back again come Thanksgiving with its annual complimentary holiday dinner for those in need. North Central College has joined a global movement to help empower female entrepreneurs. Converge Naperville, the college's Center for Entrepreneurship and Business, hosted NCC's inaugural Women Entrepreneurship Conference. Joining more than 160 colleges and universities worldwide, the conference helps women connect, learn, and grow as business owners and entrepreneurs. Topics range from using technology for building business to speaking with confidence in the boardroom.
So this is our first time joining this global movement. I knew that there were barriers. There's a big gender gap in our entrepreneurial economy in this country, and Looking at all the barriers, I thought a conference would be a good solution to helping overcome those barriers facing women in entrepreneurship.
The day-long conference included presentations and hands-on workshops featuring 11 accomplished panelists and speakers. Women Entrepreneurship Week was founded at Montclair State University in New Jersey and has now spread to educational institutions in 32 countries on 6 different continents. An estimated 5.7 million Americans are living with Alzheimer's. Naperville News 17's Casey Krajewski has more on how to make care for them easier and more effective.
Jim Lang's father died of cancer in 2015, leaving him to take care of his mother, Darlene, who had Alzheimer's dementia. He found several different tools that, along with patience and understanding, made both his and his mom's lives easier. And with the help of the Naperville Public Library, he was able to share those through their masterclass speaking program.
A wireless doorbell works wonders. No cords, no nothing. I could carry it with me if I was in a different part of the house, and the button was there. You know, and again, it's battery operated, so I could just use a little Velcro tape and stick it by the bed or whatever.
A creative combination of baby monitors and alarms alerted him whenever his mother needed help or tried to wander off. He also created signs for each room, which would help Darlene remember where she was in the house. Many of the ideas Lang showed off were originally meant for children or babies, but he said allowing the Alzheimer's patient to maintain dignity is vital.
The bib or napkin is a good example. So long as I called it a napkin, she was fine with it. If I had called it a bib, which it essentially is, there would have been rebellion and a problem. Avoiding those terms that could set her off and explaining it in adult terms that made her more comfortable with it.
The audience was also invited to share stories of what worked with them when caring for Alzheimer's patients. Reporting for Naperville News 17, I'm Casey Krajewski.
According to ALZ.com, 16.1 million Americans provide unpaid care for people with Alzheimer's or other dementias. Coming up, a 91-year-old woodcarver shares his craft with the next generation.
Give the gift of downtown Naperville. Treat someone special to a great shopping, dining, or spa experience with Downtown Naperville gift cards. Good at more than 150 businesses. Purchase them at 4 convenient locations or online and have them mailed directly to the lucky recipient. Best of all, there's no purchasing fee. Just choose an amount and send. It's that easy. The perfect gift for anyone at any time.
We live in a safe community, but not a crime-free community. If you see something, say something. Be a Naperville Crime Stopper.
Being a firefighter is a demanding job, and it's important to be physically fit before entering a dangerous situation. Naperville News 17's Casey Krajewski went to watch the department's latest recruits take on the CPAT course.
Hauling equipment, raising ladders, and swinging a hammer are all necessary tasks for a firefighter/paramedic. And nothing tests those skills like the Candidate Physical Ability Test, or CPAT.
Before, we kind of just did a basic how many push-ups you can do in a minute, sit-ups, mile time, all that stuff. But we bought all this CPAT equipment about 2 years ago, implemented it about 2 years ago. So we figured, why not? We have the tools, the ability to do it. We might as well just start.
The exam is designed to simulate real obstacles firefighters would encounter in emergency situations. The candidates have 10 minutes and 20 seconds to complete the course, starting with the dreaded weighted stair climb.
I think the hardest part is once you get through the stairs. I think the stairs wears out a lot of guys. If you train for the stairs outside of the CPAT, that's probably the most tiring objective. If you feel good after the stairs, you'll make your way through, but the stairs definitely will wear you out.
This particular test was the first time these recruits were evaluated by the Naperville Fire Department. After 8 weeks of training, they'll return to the course to see if they can beat their times. But it isn't just for local recruits. Because Naperville is one of just 5 sites in the state licensed to administer the CPAT, they also open the course up to recruits for other departments looking to earn their CPAT certification.
everybody that tests for a fire department job has to have a CPAT card. So we have a lot of people from all over the state. We've had people come from North Carolina, Texas, the surrounding states, Iowa, Indiana, come here just to get their CPAT test so they can start testing for fire departments in the state of Illinois.
The Naperville Fire Department is also looking to expand its CPAT program to include current firefighters as well. That way, each of the 200 employees will know where they need to improve physically to do their jobs effectively. And while the CPAT is a good test for firefighters, a lot more goes into the job than just the capacity to run the course.
This is just a little glimpse of the ability or physical ability that it takes to fight a fire or be on the fire scene. So this is a good place to start to check to know your physical ability.
For Naperville News 17, I'm Casey Krajewski.
And hopefully those new recruits will benefit from an innovative program starting at the fire department. The traditional schedule for firefighters across the country is a 24 hours on, 48 hours off timetable. But the Naperville Fire Department's new power shifting initiative is an attempt to make that plan more efficient.
What we're doing here is taking a group of individuals and moving them from that 24-hour shift to a 40-hour work week during peak hours, during hours that we know are busier.
Buknitis said 54% of fire department calls occur during the power shifting schedule from 8:30 a.m. to 5 p.m. Monday through Friday. This will allow 4 additional emergency responders to be available during those times without incurring any additional costs.
This is an innovative move by the Naperville Fire Department that we hope will be replicated by other towns around the area and even around the country.
The first day of the power shifting schedule was October 22nd. Trick-or-treaters are out and about on All Hallows Eve, but it's important to know how to stay safe while still having some spooky fun. The Naperville Police Department is advising parents and their youngsters to stick together when going door to door. Older kids should stay in groups and on the sidewalk as opposed to the street. They can also pre-route their night so parents will know where they'll be in the neighborhood. And drivers need to take note as well.
Drivers should always be cautious when they're driving, but more especially on Halloween night with you have young goblins and ghosts walking around the street, so they need to be aware of that. They may be wearing masks or be distracted a little bit, so we need to be extra safe and extra careful when we're driving around.
After collecting the goodies, parents should check all candy before the kids dive in.
I know that the kids like to get their treats and get after that, but they should hold off and let their parents or guardians inspect whatever candy. Obviously, if you're going to different addresses, we ask that they stay on the front porch. They never go inside someone's house and don't accept rides from someone and don't take treats or candies that are homemade or don't have a wrapping on that.
It's recommended that younger kids end trick-or-treating when it begins to get dark, while older kids should be in by 8 p.m. And if you need a trick-or-treating bag, the police department has some you can pick up at the station for free. Another quick tip, make sure costumes don't drag on the ground to prevent trips and falls, and wear lighter colors, reflective tape, or glow sticks to be seen. A 91-year-old woodcarver is sharing his mastery of the craft with Naperville kids. Our own Blaine Erwin has Shelley Weiser's story.
Where I put the mark, go like this, and you press down, straight down and twist it a little, like that, see?
The intricate art of wood carving is a craft some spend their whole lives practicing, but Shelley Weiser didn't get his start until he was 75 years old.
My wife and I always loved art. My wife painted, but I never did anything in art. I didn't put it in practice, I just liked it.
Today, his apartment is filled with his own work. Statues of cowboys and horses, a panel of hummingbirds, and much more. It resembles the wood carving gallery that inspired him to join a club and to begin learning the art. A process that included the unique opportunity to study under a master carver from the Philippines.
And I started carving with him, and he was my mentor, and he's taught me all about the tools and everything about carving. I used to go to him every week, and so that's what's really started me, and I give all my thanks to this one man.
Shelley finds inspiration in a variety of places. He's scaled small statues up and sketched his own designs for reliefs. For this 6-sculpture series of Art Deco dancers, he found a library book with French dancers and made copies of photographs he liked. Then he went to work bringing those 2-dimensional pictures to life as 3D sculptures.
You take photographs and books, you just see one side of it, just see the front of it. I had to figure out how in the world I'm going to figure out how the dress goes in the back without seeing. So all those things you have to figure out.
And Shelley has been sharing his skills by teaching Naperville Park District wood carving classes to kids and seniors for over 10 years. He brings the wood and tools, they bring a willingness to learn.
And they loved it. And I loved teaching them.
In the 16 years between ages 75 and 91, Shelley started wood carving, became accomplished, and began sharing his knowledge with anyone who wants to learn, showing it's never too late to pick up a new passion. For Naperville News 17, I'm Blaine Erwin.
Shelley is still teaching classes with the Park District for kids ages 8 to 17. Coming up, we'll show you which boys' soccer teams are closer to state.
Millions of Americans suffer from the debilitating effects of chronic knee pain, arthritis, and osteoarthritis. If you are one of them, remember, no matter what you've been told, drugs, steroids, and knee replacement surgery are not your only options anymore. Call the number on your screen right now because you could qualify for a remarkable breakthrough treatment that helps relieve your knee pain without pills or surgery. This remarkable and innovative treatment replenishes the lubricant in your joints that may be lost due to age or injury. This all-natural, FDA-approved product is introduced into the knee, creating a comfortable cushioning layer that protects and lubricates the joint, allowing you to enjoy smooth, pain-free movement once more. This promising treatment, considered to be the first major breakthrough in years for relieving knee pain, is covered by most insurance plans, including Medicare. If you just can't deal with your knee pain any longer, then call the number on your screen right now to see if you qualify for this emerging knee pain treatment. This call could bring you the relief you need to change your life and get you back on your feet.
Since 2001, families and friends have been caught reading Positively Naperville. At home, around town, and all over the world. Thanks for reading, in print and online.
With state boys soccer just 1 week away, Naperville North and Bennett Academy are still standing in hopes of making the sectional final. Check out these highlights. Over at Geneva, the reigning state champs Naperville North take on the 16th seed Batavia in the sectional semis. Under 30 minutes to play in the first half, the Huskies prove why they're the top-ranked team in the country. With a long throw from Christian Romano, Colin Iverson heads it over to Zach Smith, who makes it a doubleheader right into the net for the first goal of the game. 2 more goals from Ty Conrad and Jacob Franken. North goes up 3-0. The Bulldogs give it all they got with some strong footwork, but Tommy Welch keeps his consistency and punches the shot out of play for the team's 19th shutout in just 22 games this year. The Huskies move on to the sectional final Friday to face on West Aurora. Bennett Academy went on to the sectional semis as the 7th seed facing the 6th seed Addison Trail in Class 3A. Both teams struggled to find their offense and a slow start to the game, leaving the board scoreless through the first 80 minutes. After Addison Trail scores first in overtime, Anthony Close tracks down the loose ball and fires one towards the goal, and with the help of Hans Heineke, who finished it off, the Red Wings tie the game 1-1 in overtime. In the second overtime, Anthony Close heads a corner kick and gets the rebound to knock in the game-winning goal. Bennett takes the win and moves on to the sectional final to face Lake Park. It's regional championship time in girls volleyball. 5 of our local teams are competing for 3 available plaques, and the competition is certainly heating up. Let's go out to Gabriel McDonough to see which teams are moving on to sectionals.
Thank you, Stephanie. After 2 regular season defeats at the hands of Neuqua Valley, Naperville North would not be denied. They defeated the Wildcats here tonight in straight sets to claim a regional championship. And sticking in the DVC, Naperville Central fell to Waubonsie Valley in straight sets. Warriors pick up a regional championship of their own. And over in the ESCC, Bennett Academy gets it done with a straight set victory over Manuka to claim a regional championship of their own. So, 3 games, 3 regional championships for our teams. Stephanie, back to you.
The Naperville Middle School Girls Volleyball Championships were held recently. The 7th grade A game was a close match between Gregory Middle School and Jefferson Junior High, with the Patriots of Jefferson coming out with the win in 2 sets over the Pioneers. The 7th grade AA game was between Jefferson and Scullin Middle School. Each team won one of 2 sets, but the Sharks took the AA medals, with a 3rd set victory to win the title. The 8th grade A game was another 3-set battle. Hosting the game were the Kennedy Eagles, who took the 1st set, but the Crone Panthers tied things up by winning set 2. Kennedy was able to rally and win the championship in the 3rd set in front of the home crowd. The 8th grade AA game again featured Jefferson taking on the top-seeded Granger Grizzlies. After the Patriots took the opening set, Granger came just a couple points shy of tying the match, but Jefferson was able to hang on and win the AA championship in straight sets. Congratulations to all the teams on a great season. That's it for sports. Kim, back to you.
Thanks, Stephanie. To stay up to date with the highlights of the soccer sectional championships and the first round of the high school football playoffs, check out the latest episode of Naperville Sports Weekly and look for the highlights on nctv17.com. Episode 7 of NCTV 17's own Game On brought the Halloween spirit to center stage. Our own Christine Lena tells us which team took home the Boo-tiful trophy.
From a monster mash.
Who are you guys building? Dracula.
To mummy wraps. Team Chills took on Team Thrills for Episode 7 of Game On, the Halloween one. Team Thrills was captained by Josh McBroom, who was joined by Marcy Schatz, Jeff Gross, and Julie Cunningham. Their challenger was Team Chills, who included Mike Havala, Celeste Wagner, Matt Moser, and Captain Kelly Meyer Douglas. All had a fun time embracing the Halloween spirit and dressing up for the show.
We were trying to think of something, along the thrill line. Went back to Michael Jackson Thriller and thought of the zombies coming out of the ground. So you do that, you start with it, and then I got my kids involved who are very excited about putting all the spiders and cockroaches all over everything.
So our team was the Addams family, so I am Gomez, the father. Which fits because I was the oldest person on our team. But again, great team. Halloween theme was awesome. Very easy to do costumes for that.
With all the ghoulish fun on stage, 95.9 The River's Danielle Tefano said hosting Behind the Podium gets better every show.
This is the 7th episode, and every time I say to myself, how are we going to top the last one? And this one did a spectacular job because we got everybody out of their comfort zone to begin with by putting them in costumes, and both teams did such a great job.
Winners are revealed on Monday, October 29th at 7 p.m. when the full Game On episode airs on NCTV 17. Reporting for Naperville News 17, I'm Christine Lena.
Starting October 29th, you can catch Game On Episode 7 on NCTV 17 and online at nctv17.com. And that's what's happening right here in your neighborhood, Naperville. We'll see you next week. Until then, if you have a story you'd like to share, you can let us know at newstips@nctv17.com.
This week's Naperville News 17 is brought to you in part by the following sponsors. This program is partially funded by a grant from the City of Naperville.